What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with another extended version of a track from Hunting High and Low by a-ha, and we're going to hear the extended or US remix, the Steve Thompson mix again, of The Sun Always Shines on TV, which is a very time-appropriate thing. For those who don't know, I've been slowly uploading the original, meaning unmuted, unblocked version of my initial run of a-ha reactions that I think there were about 18 of them that after a few months of being up with no problem, YouTube suddenly retroactively blocked, and then I had to mute the song audio just so that the videos could be up on YouTube at all. I've been slowly putting those onto my Patreon, and just yesterday I put up the original unmuted reaction for the normal version of The Sun Always Shines on TV, so if you haven't seen that, you can either go to the YouTube video where I've now put a link to my Patreon, or just go straight to my Patreon, and you can hear the full reaction there, where you can actually hear my comments during the song and the song itself, so this seems well timed. And yes, I've come to know that a number of a-ha fans, if not thinking this is their very favorite song by a-ha, it's certainly in a lot of people's pantheons. I absolutely agree. It's a brilliant tune, a contender for best track on their debut album. And indeed, given the evolving nature of the way I hear albums and songs over time, it's always hard to pick an absolute favorite even from a particular record, but this is definitely a contender for me as well in terms of best song on the debut album. And yes, given what I heard in the Steve Thompson mix for Train of Thought, I would not be surprised if there's a bit more of those dance floor moments where they loop a vocal or fragment a vocal and then use it in a rhythmic manner such that there's a bit of a funkiness to it or a bit of a dance floor approach. I don't know the degree to which that'll be similar to the Train of Thought remix, but given that it's the same remix artist, given that it's also stylized as a US market remix, I would not be surprised in that regard. Let's give it a listen. This is a-ha. The track is The Sun Always Shines on TV, and it's from the extended or deluxe edition. I'll get it right yet. The deluxe edition of their 1985 album, Hunting High and Low. Little dance hi-hat. As a trance and techno person, I approve.
How can it be? The sun always shines on TV. Close to your heart, give all your love to me, to me.
this is where an interlude was always bound to happen. And that little electronic pulse. So far, I'm liking this US market remix better than the Train of Thought one. And not just because I think the album track is slightly superior. I love Train of Thought, but I would say Sun Always Shines on TV is ahead of it. But the remix, I think, is better done here so far than the other one. That tapping rhythmic percussion, I do enjoy. It's like in the emptied out cathedral, the mannequins are dancing a bit more intensely.
How can it be? The sun always shines on TV. Hungry, close to your heart, touch me, give all your love to me.
And again, as typical with a lot of these early to mid 80s 12-inch mixes, you get this playing around with the different percussive parts, like bringing in that double time hi-hat, pulling it out, like bringing in the ride cymbal, taking it out, like constantly reconfiguring the percussive elements during these interludes. And that never-ending tap rhythm. Is it fading? I actually thought it would go longer. Fading very rapidly. Which I wonder on the actual record if that would happen, which I get for a album song having a fade-out ending, but for DJs, like 12-inch mix, it feels like it should have a proper ending, or at the very least shouldn't fade out that quickly, because if you're doing a DJ mix and then one track while you're transitioning just falls off a cliff like that, it's like, oh, wait a minute, well, I guess the transition's over. So I wonder if on the actual vinyl 12-inch of this remix it faded that quickly, or if that's something that was done just to save space on the deluxe edition of the album. In any case, I definitely enjoyed this version more than the US Steve Thompson mix of Train of Thought, and again, that's no critical remark about Train of Thought, which I think is a very good tune. I know for some people it's sort of middle of the road, it's, you know, they don't dislike it, but it's not one of their favorites. I really do think it's a top track, even if I will say The Sun Always Shines on TV I would put at a higher position. But the remixes, independent of what I think about the album versions of the tracks, I definitely think this one is superior, and not by a small margin either. Meaning, I think the interludes, including the final one that faded out, which I guess is it technically an interlude if nothing comes after it? I suppose not. I suppose it was an outro. But yes, the intro of this one, which definitely had a bit more percussive rhythm to it, more drum pieces moving right from the start, as opposed to that long and atmospheric ambient type intro of the normal track. I think that was very well done. I think the first interlude was well done, and I think this outro part was well configured. So yes, I think the dance floor element worked better here, which is interesting. If you would ask me in advance of hearing either of them, which album track would lend itself more to this kind of track, or this kind of remix, I would maybe have said Train of Thought. But either way, I think Steve Thompson did a better job on this one than on the remix for Train of Thought. So yes, as a trance and techno person, I did very much enjoy this. As I said, there were little moments where that feeling came out more, not just with that steady wood tap, which I guess was not so much a moment, but throughout. And indeed, like, the sonic parts of the original are all there, vocally and in terms of the synths and the instrumentation, but there was this constant feeling of energy and frenetic motion and activity throughout the whole track, whereas in the original, it bursting into that is a big shift from the more ambient opening or intro. But yes, there were certain moments, like as I said, when that first hi-hat came in the intro, it makes me want to tap my foot. It makes me want to hear a trance or a techno tune. So I think this one was much better composed. Obviously, the tune itself, fantastic. Martin's vocals are soaring and magnificent at a number of points, and I think the way that they were integrated with this remix was well done. So yeah, a top one for me. Let me know if you agree. I will see you next time. Peace.